Hello, fellow EDFN 530ers. Craig Yambor here. Welcome to my presentation. Let's start off with my professional journey. You'll notice quickly that I probably have a little different background than most in this class. Out of school, I did work as a teacher for about 5 years, first in a couple private schools, and then later as a substitute. I wasn't getting the career launch that I really hoped for, and I did find an interest in one of those jobs in the computer and information technology areas. So I made a switch to that industry and worked there for about 20 years. I had a lot of rewarding opportunities in that career, but I often missed teaching, and I frequently found myself in leadership and mentoring roles and really craved getting some of that dynamic back into my career. So I decided to come back to teaching as my primary vocation. Right now, I still work part-time doing data analysis and reporting, and I also work at the Boyertown and Oley school districts as a substitute. I focus on 4th through 8th grade assignments, primarily in science and math areas. Why this STEM endorsement program? Well, it seemed like a natural fit to me. As you might imagine, while I was off doing my technology career, my ACT 48 credits did not get taken care of. So in order to resolve them, I needed to find some type of program to get involved with. I started doing some searching, and this program seemed like a great match. It combines both portions of my past career, and it really allows me to develop some cutting-edge teaching approaches that I can take forward into my new path on my career. More about me personally. I have a wife and 2 kids. Their ages are 13 and 14, so you immediately know that one of the things I do with most of my time is I'm a driver, #1 fan, coach, tutor, scout leader, you name it. I'm also an outdoors enthusiast, and I get outside every day I can and do my run. But on weekends and other times that I have a chance, I also get out myself or with my family, and we cycle, hike, camp, kayak, travel. So if you're looking for me when I'm not behind a computer or in a classroom, look in the woods. Now, I need to jump on to the important stuff. 7 strategies of assessment for learning versus 6 parts of assessment as learning. As I read Gupta's article, it illustrated for me the separation of 3 potential goals for assessment. Of learning, which is summative for the grade. For learning, which is formative to inform next steps. And as learning, stressing self-monitoring and correction during the assessment process. I can understand how Gupta defines each of these, but it seems to me that you could also look at the as learning strategy described in the article as less a thing unto itself and more a hybrid process that incorporates both formative and summative assessment strategies. So let's move in a little closer and see where the 2 articles were similar. The group discussion step of Gupta's process incorporates peer feedback, which is in alignment with Chapuis's 3rd strategy, calling for regular feedback, and is likely a great tool and motivator for these concise learning assessment sessions. Chapuis, however, would likely push for multiple avenues of feedback, most notably including the instructor, and have the feedback introduced in multiple cycles over time. Next, the self-correction step of Gupta's process aligns with Chapuis's 4th strategy, calling for self-assessment. It allows for correction of prior work and reassessment for moving forward during the activity. Gupta does not detail that guidance should be provided for this part of the process, but I'm sure Chapuis would look to ensure all self-assessment strategies are oriented to the end goal and modeled for students. Finally, Gupta's oral presentation step also seems to align with Chapuis's 7th strategy, allowing students to reflect and share their learnings as they relate to that specific activity. It is, however, less focused than Chapuis might like on alignment of these learnings with the overall end goal. Now, some differences. Gupta's individual report step combined with the teacher-generated screencast might roughly align with Chapuis's first strategy to provide a learning target. Gupta's article states, however, it is a key challenge of her process to communicate the learning objectives clearly so the students are prepared without giving too much information. So while both are the beginning point, Chapuis's first strategy dictates a clear, understandable learning target, and Gupta's may not quite hit that mark. The separation activity and group report steps of Gupta's process might again roughly align with Chapuis's sixth strategy, where practice occurs. Chapuis in this strategy calls for design and focus to ensure the best results from the student's activity. Gupta relies on the peer-team collaboration to focus the activity correctly. This is a powerful approach, but it could lead to practicing the incorrect activity. How are they different? Gupta does not in the article detail activities related to Chapuis's second strategy, calling for strong and weak models or examples. Since Gupta's process is framed around an assessment activity, the examples could not be based on the same exercise, but ones from similar exercise would surely be an advantage to the student's understanding of the desired results. Similarly, Gupta does not specifically detail any teacher-driven evaluation and redirection of the activity. Based on measured performance as called for by Chapuis's fifth strategy, I feel incorporating this in Gupta's process would be an advantage even if done year over year or from one assessment to the next. So how does this relate to my philosophy? Well, from my past in the computer industry, I have always been philosophically aligned with Deming. W. Edwards Deming, for those who may not know, was an engineer and professor who innovated manufacturing for the auto and other major manufacturing industries. The key to his philosophy is to practice continual improvement and think of manufacturing as a system. He stressed quality over cost and showed that doing so cuts cost. Just on that brief description, you probably see that this parallels heavily with Chapuis's 7 strategies, and that works for me. I really find that a comfortable place. The continual assessment and improvement methodology really aligns with how I prefer to work. However, instead of a product that Deming would create, with Chapuis we produce a self-motivated learner and teachers who work along with the students that can execute incremental improvement toward an end goal. Gupta's process, in my opinion, is not throwaway, however. It can be integrated into the 7 strategies and is a great tool for driving teamwork and collaboration in a group of students. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.